Today is February 21st, 2018, and today is the first day that I have ever spoken to my computer and made a video diary that I plan to share. February 21st is significant because I began a journey and a plan to discover my motivation to conquer a depression that I've been in and to lose the 30 pounds that I've been carrying around for far too long for my liking and for my sense of mental well-being. So tomorrow is February 22nd, so it's the 1 month anniversary. It'll be the 32nd day following the program. And I'll just give you so far my results. I am getting up more than a full hour earlier than I was on January 22nd. I have incorporated the exercise bike and yoga into my morning routine. I have a sense now that I've actually designed what my perfect start to a day looks like. And I've lost 12 pounds, and I have lost 3 inches off of my bulge. The story of my bulge is in that video that is coming up, but I just wanted to do a little introduction and, just so you're not listening to me babbling on for so long and not knowing what the purpose is. So I'm going to describe the tools that I've been using and the research that I've found very interesting, and mention some of the speakers and teachers that have also been very helpful in starting this journey and staying on it for my 31st day. I'm going to try to make this the quick summary. I began the change on January 22nd, 2018, and it was because I knew that I had to. And just as Mel said in her TED Talk that I discovered a couple of years ago, How to Stop Screwing Yourself Over, it's a great one, check it out, is that you have to force yourself. Another great talk is the one where she's interviewed Impact Theory, where the guy's wearing the NASA t-shirt, Tom Billier, anyway, great one where she said motivation is garbage. Waiting to feel like it, guess what? You're never going to feel like it. That resonated with me. That was one of those things that, like tasting salt, I just knew was right away. Yes, that resonates. That works. So I knew I had to get myself out of the funk. I know that I had to actually do things, and I also knew that I didn't feel like it, but I knew that I had to, and I just hoped that it would work. And I saw evidence on the very first day that it was working. So that whole thing, day 1, 188 pounds, 42 inches on the bulge. I was walking the dog, so I had some exercise, but I didn't have a morning routine. But in that one day, when I woke, I went from feeling meh, lazy, and depressed to, by 3:30 that day, I actually had a moment where I was almost energized, and I hadn't felt like that in so long that, honestly, I can't remember. So, legit. And that day, my most important project, my top project, was to follow my new diet plan. And I had it in my mind, I need to get up earlier, I need to lose weight, I want to get on my exercise bike, I want to do yoga because my back is stiff and it's, a lot of back pain. So I had it in my mind, but I noticed I didn't do anything. So that was the 22nd. I did follow the diet. So, but the other things that I hadn't even written them down yet as goals about the yoga or the bike. But what I was thinking in my head was 5 minutes. Okay? Because, come on, can we commit to almost anything for only 5 minutes? So I said to myself, exercise bike, 5 minutes. Yoga, 5 minutes. That's the goal. So 23rd, the 24th, the 25th. So on the 25th, I wrote down a little section on the book, on the 5-second journal. Today's wins. I did 5 minutes on my bike. I did my 5 minutes. But then I had an X beside my 5 minutes of yoga, so I didn't do that yet. And I also had down as a win that day of saying no. I said no to something that I didn't want to do and had reasons and had beliefs and ethics about. And also, I have this thing where I like to help people, and I have a hard time saying no. And I said no as an act of self-care. And so that was a win. That was the 25th. I don't know exactly when it became like a habit, but let's say February 9th. Okay, February 9th, so I started on the 22nd. By February 9th, I had, and under today's wins, I had yoga, 5 minutes, stretching, 2 minutes, and bike, 15. So I managed to incorporate that, and now, even though I was away for 3 days at a hotel and a tournament, I still managed to do my yoga, my bike, and a little more here and there, then some stuff, so some swimming and whatever else. So that's all going very well. Tomorrow will be day 32. It'll be the 1 month anniversary. It'll be February 22nd. And I have lost 12 pounds, and the bulge has gone from 42 inches to 38 inches. My arm has gone from 12 inches to 11 and a half. Oh, and also I have also incorporated a 5-minute YouTube arm routine into my morning routine. So, and I'm going to monitor the results of that after 30 days. Yesterday was day 6 out of 30 for that. And I did 20 minutes bike, and I did yoga at 10 minutes. So, plus I walk the dog. So, the dog, that's a whole other story. She's adorable. She's a beautiful rescue from Mexico, from Cancun. And it was time for me to have a dog back in my life. And she was also part of moving my life in a healthy direction, and she does get me out, and she is adorable. And man, the number of conversations that get started when you have a dog out, it's been super, really. So welcome, and I hope you have a wonderful day, moment, hour, and take care. So this is me just getting ready, trying to, be the host of my own video story, and I'm going to get some books to prop up this computer. And I got a bump on the head. Wow. So Ian had put these books, Aristotle, Complete Works, up in my closet. Oh, and I've got a bump on my head because he had something up there that I didn't know was there. Oh. I got bumped in the head by a vapor cigarette. Oh, and who said? Who says they're actually okay and safe for your health? Brain damage. They cause brain damage. So I've got Aristotle. I have Julian Marius. I've got Nietzsche, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, and this is a beautiful book, man. Oh, Poetic Works of Alfred Lord Tennyson. Oh my gosh, wow. So isn't that beautiful? Look at that old handwriting there. 1920, to Blanche with love from Kello? I don't know. Anyway, wow, isn't that amazing? That is gorgeous. Anyway, so hopefully this wisdom of the ages can inspire what is going to become a vlog. I'm trying to create a better angle because I'm, I don't think at my age that this lower angle is very flattering. Okay. Definitely want the Nietzsche. The Nietzsche. Ooh, is that going to be stable? Alright. Well, this is better. That's better. Jesus. I don't know if I'm going to have a shiner up there. Anywho, moving on. So, I wanted to make myself look presentable because at some point I think I'd like to do a real estate series. And I was going to do that, but then I figured, you know what? I'm just going to check in personally because it is February the 21st, which means tomorrow is the anniversary of beginning to strive to get out of that funk that I've been in. The funk. It's the depression that I've been in. So, on prior to January 22nd, I decided that I was going to order the 5-second journal by Mel Robbins, structured journal, as well as the 5-second rule book, but with the key thing being the journal. And I decided that I was going to do it, whether or not I felt like it, or whether or not I thought what she was asking made sense. Because I think sometimes we come up with excuses not to follow through, because we'll criticize that maybe it doesn't make sense. Anyway, so I think that is our, that's Celeste. The inner person you don't necessarily, who leads you down the path of trouble. Well, that's Celeste talking. So, right, Tracy? I decided not to listen to Celeste and anymore, and start following a program, because I think, just like Joseph Campbell said, religion, or plan, okay? It's like a software. Pick one and follow it, and it will work, So in the case of religion, pick one, follow it, and maybe you'll have a transcendent experience. In the case of a plan, get your life together plan, weight loss plan, motivational plan, pick a system and follow it. And I decided that the 5-second journal was going to be the system that I was going to follow. And so it's been working. Like sometimes, basically prior to January 22nd, I was having a hard time motivating myself to get out of bed. I was not succeeding in motivating myself to do the projects that had piled up around the house, like repainting the plaster repair, getting the room ready for Airbnb, blah, blah, blah. Endless list. It was actually quite overwhelming. And another thing that Mel has said is stop making to-do lists. I had a huge to-do list, and I had hidden it under a magazine on my desk here, and I didn't look at it. So the 5-second journal, though, it's like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get shit done, basically. So there's a section. Oh, can you see this? There's a section of, how do you feel? Be honest. I feel this way because. So this is supposed to be, I guess, when you wake up. But I've been using little dots along the fuel gauge and writing a time down and then making notes beside it, because I find I can feel very, very different at different points of the day. And I think that's important to capture as well, because then it can start to give me some data to work with, a pattern of how this creature functions. So that's been great. Then, oh yes, my top project, as they call your top project, or your MIT, most important task. She says pick one. Pick one. That's how to deal with overwhelm. And then, which is great, it says the project matters to me because. And you can fill things in. And one small action that I can take to move forward is, and you fill it in. There's a section for right now I feel grateful for. And sometimes that's been difficult, and sometimes it's been really easy. It has become, I guess it's been difficult for it not to be routine after the first couple of times, because what I'm grateful for always and every day is for the children that I have. And but to be able to write something down where it really means something, where it makes me feel that, like, that's not as easy. So when it has happened, it's been super, because some days I'm just grateful that, the kids are still alive, because there's challenges, obviously, being a mom. There's a section called Brain Dump, and that's where you're supposed to just dump down what's in your head that's distracting you, so that you can clear your mind and be more productive, or just have your mind more at ease and more at rest. There's a Plan My Day section where there's a 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. Little time slots. And then there's the Confidence Corner, where there's a daily challenge. I've added beside that, because I find I don't need the 3 lines that are below there. I don't need all of those. So I've after the Confidence Corner, after I can circle yes or no, I've put a line down there, And I call that, oh, I'll show you, today's wins. Because, you know, there's micro wins, you know, every day, right? And like Lisa Nichols said, we will move ahead in needlepoint moves. It's needlepoint moves. It's not these, we think it's these grand moments where the sky opens up and divinity hands you something. Well, there are moments like that. But for most of us, I think, and most of the time, we're having to move ahead in these little steps. And that's perfectly good. That's life. So anyway, I decided to follow the journal, and I started January 22nd, and it's now February 21st. My first day, wow. My first day, I felt meh. And yesterday, for example, I started out fine, because I don't think I ever wake up feeling energized. That's a whole other thing about the snooze button, that I've figured out how to manage my imperfection. Lisa Nichols quote, "I'm not perfect. I've learned how to manage my imperfections well." I love it. Anyway, so I felt fine. And then by 7:30, I felt good. So at 5:15, I felt fine. At 7:30, I felt good. And there are many points during most of the days now that I have where I feel energized. So day one, I felt meh, and I wrote, I feel this way because I'm feeling depressed and lazy. My weight is bothering me. And that day, I had my top project was to get this business-related offer dealt with. And so I had my business top project, and I also wrote in my personal top project, which was to follow a new diet that I had created, designed, and downloaded, with stuff from the internet, and then adapted. So by 11:35 that morning, I had ticked off good, that I was feeling good. Why? Because I was getting shit done and feeling more control. By 3:30 that day, I felt almost energized. I had walked the dog 3 times. I had my offer done. And I had for the first time, got back on the Max Trainer, and I had done 20 minutes of yoga. So those were both brand new restarts of a past routine that I lost touch with long ago. So that was day one. So I even had a good moment on day one of following the system. But now, most days, I am starting off better than fine, even when I first wake up, and I'm usually at good or even energized by 7 a.m. Oh, that's the other thing, too. Day one, I woke up at 6:28. I was in bed. And I forget if I woke up from an alarm, but I think I've been setting an alarm because I was actually trying to get up earlier. Like, I'd been pretty much sleeping till the last minute, till 8. I was 188 pounds. That was the heaviest I'd ever been, other than when 14 years ago I had my son, who was almost 10 pounds, in there. Okay? So, not okay. Not okay for me. I have a mummy bulge out front, you know, from my little womb mate. That was Andrew's saying. Thank you, Andrew. Love you. The little womb mate. I know he wasn't, you know. Anyway, he stretched me out pretty darn good. And then, adding the chub to it, it just bulged out in front because there's nothing to hold it back, right? There's no tone there. Like, it's all stretched out. So it all went right there. And a guy in North Bay in a restaurant called out from across the room, "When are you due?" And that's not the first time. Like, people, even a doctor, there was even a doctor once that asked me that and said, "Are you?" And I said, "I'm not pregnant." And he said, "Are you sure? Really? Okay." So my bulge was 42 inches. And it was all in one, like I swallowed a basketball basically. So I kind of looked pregnant. So I very calmly said to the fellow in the restaurant, "Look, dude, you just don't ask a question like that of a woman unless someone has told you, so you know for sure she's pregnant." And I said, "Because did you know that ovarian cancer can look like that? And can you imagine if you had just asked that to someone with ovarian cancer?" And I said, "In my case, I'm not pregnant, okay? I'm just overweight, and I'm stretched from when I did have my babies." And I said, "So what I'm going to go with is that I'm flattered that you think I'm young enough to be pregnant." You know? And then he's like, "Oh, yeah, well, it's like, what are you, like, 33, 34, you know?" And I'm like, "Dude, I'm almost 50, so, yeah. Anyway, just so you know for next time, okay? Like, don't do that." Anyway, so that was another moment. That was it January, actually, that we went to North Bay? No, it wasn't. I think it was December, actually. So before Christmas, and it's not as if my weight and my state of being had been in any way uplifting for me. It's been very depressing. So I decided I've had enough. I'm going to do something about it. But because of recent events, two friends, very old dear friends, passed away in one weekend, the end of November. So I went into the most, I'd say, flattening depression. And the reason I say that is because I think to one point or another it's always been there throughout my life. But this was the one where I just had no desire to get up and no energy to get up. So my questions or my notes to myself at the very beginning, I wrote down some things, and I guess they were really important to me. So even before I started the journal, there was 2018, what will I stop doing? What will I start doing? And what will I continue to do? And that was from one of Mel's exercises of complete your year so that you can have your best year ever. So far, all I have down under stop is no listings that don't fully inspire me. Under what I will start, I still have a blank. And what I will continue, I have follow the lake, because I love the lake. I love being at the lake. So pursuing the work and doing things that I need to do to bring my life more and more to the lake. I wrote down room clean, office organized, painting done, Airbnb ready, plan February visit with Anthony, Wesley McCoon ad and mailing. Find out my why. Where is my mojo? Why am I running on empty? Need more juice. What do I want? And then Tony Robbins, find my blueprint. In brackets, how I think life should be. So yes. Oh, and now, okay, so 188 pounds. I am now 175.8 pounds. So as my month anniversary comes up tomorrow, I'll have a final number. My bulge has gone from 42 inches to 38 inches. Yep, 38. The bulge. Anyway, so I have got a ton of shit done. I have had so much shit done. And every morning, it's a routine. And I didn't even have trouble doing it when I was away over the weekend at the hotel for Andre's tournament. Get up. I don't get up as soon as the alarm goes off. I have designed my perfect start to the day that works for my weird little chemistry, okay? Because I feel really tired when I first wake up. And I found then I was getting really rushed to get Andre ready out, food ready, whatever, out the door to school. So I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe it takes you half an hour to wake up properly before you can really function or do anything. So guess what I did? I kept moving my alarm back. So now I try and keep this a secret from myself so that I don't freak myself out, but I've moved it back 5 minutes twice, because basically I want to be back in the house, ready to function, having walked the dog by 7:15 in the morning. I want to be fully up, dressed, functioning, and not having to do anything but prep for getting Andre to school and out the door by then. So now my alarm goes off at 04:50. Yeah. That's the really gentle one. And sometimes I don't wake up right away, Sometimes it's 3 minutes of listening to it. And when that happens, I know that I'm tired. And sometimes I'll look at that. What did I do the day before? What time did I get to bed? What did I eat? What did I drink? All of that. If I sleep through. Sometimes I wake up without it now. Anyway, so my first alarm at 04:50 is like, I hit the snooze. I actually do. I've planned that. Because I am just not awake. Now, but sometime in that snooze period, most days now, I think to reach and take my blood pressure pill, because that's really important, I sometimes turn on the light. I've gotten a little coffee maker that I can reach and switch on because I love hearing it make and I love the smell. So that either happens before or after my second alarm. My second alarm is when I switch on YouTube and I find something usually motivational to listen to, or just something really interesting. Like I've been researching a lot about diet and weight loss and health and nutrients, and so I'll click that on, click something that strikes me, and then I'll just, listen for a while until I feel like my eyes can open. And some mornings like today, it was right away. Before the second alarm, I was already had the light on and pressed on the coffee, and had the YouTube going. Oh, I think my son's here, so.